This section is going to contain three constellations: Lyra, Leo Minor, and Monoceros. So let's begin with the constellation Lyra. A lyre in ancient times was a small harp that had strings on it, a wooden frame, usually had like little posts to help support the whole thing, and people would strum it in order to make music. That was a lyre, and you see them in old movies, and you see them periodically in old drawings and pictures. So it's supposed to be a small string instrument. This is a smallish constellation, and I like this picture very much because you can actually kind of see where it belongs in the sky. So Lyra is between Cygnus, the swan, and Hercules, the hero. It is this relatively small, kind of an off, squishied sort of shaped constellation. But what makes it very, very important is the bright star Vega. Vega is the definition of apparent magnitude. Long ago and far away, they gave Vega the apparent magnitude of 0.0. And so basically the apparent magnitude of every other star is based on Vega, if it's dimmer than Vega or brighter than Vega. Vega, along with Deneb and Altair, make up that summer triangle, some of the first stars that you can see coming out on a summer evening. And so it's that's how you can identify Lyra. Find that big bright star, Vega. Next one up is Leo Minor. Now, Leo, of course, is the lion, and minor means lesser or smaller or younger. This is another one of these constellations that is not one of the ancient ones created thousands of years ago by the Greeks and the Babylonians. This is a constellation that was created in the 1600s. Astronomers were trying to fill in the gaps between real obvious constellations with some others, and they were trying to take whatever stars they saw and make something out of them. And these smaller or lesser constellations have a tendency to be relatively dim and honestly kind of hard to see. But if you take Leo, which is very visible in the night sky, and Ursa Major, very visible in the night sky, there is a bit of space between them. And in the 1600s, an astronomer said, "Oh, I can see this shape, and I'm going to call that Leo Minor. That is going to be the lesser or smaller lion." Now, if I look at this, that doesn't look like a lion to me, but if I found this artist representation, and that kind of makes sense. If this is the head of the lion, and this is the legs and the tail, then this is the body of the lion, and its head is reaching up to say hello to its papa. Next one up is Monoceros. Monoceros means the unicorn. Mono means one. And so this is the one-horned animal, Monoceros. Monoceros is another one of these faint, dim constellations, not one of the ancient ones, but it fills in the gaps in the sky. So this is a constellation that is between Orion's dogs. Here's our good friend Orion. Here is Canis Minor with Procyon, and here is Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, and between them is Monoceros. Don't hurt yourself if you can't see this one when you go out and look at night, because all of the stars in Monoceros are relatively dim. But if you kind of use your imagination a little bit, you kind of get a unicorn shape out of it. One of the things, again, that frustrates me depends on how it's drawn. I prefer this drawing because here is the one horn of the unicorn, his head, his body, and his two legs. That makes sense to me. This beats the stink out of me what that's supposed to be, but that also is supposed to be the constellation Monoceros. And maybe in the night sky, that is more what it looks like, but that just kind of confuses me. So I apologize if it confuses you. That's the way it works sometimes. That will do for this one. See you then.